Good morning. You have been sold a lie. The lie that your business depends on social media. One of the biggest myths that I see small business owners struggling with. Everywhere you look, you're told that you have to be posting every single day, jumping on the latest trends, or you'll fall behind. And coaches and gurus are there making money from this. And they might say things like it only takes 5 minutes a day. And yet for most people, for most business owners that I speak to, it takes hours and hours of heart, hours of energy, hours of creativity, and it still doesn't then bring in consistent clients. And the worst part, when it doesn't work, you then feel like you're failing twice over. So you feel like you're failing because you can't seem to do it in 5 minutes, and you feel like you're failing because all of that effort, all of that energy that you're putting into it still isn't then bringing in results. But the thing is about all of this is that you're buying into a lie. You've been, this isn't about failing. This isn't about doing it wrong. This is about the lie that we've been sold, that we have to be doing it. We have to be using social media. And today I'm going to look at why this exists, why this lie is here, why it matters so much now with all the changes in search and AI and all those sorts of things, and what alternatives there are. And so if you want to step off the social media hamster wheel, then hopefully today's episode is going to help you. I think one of the issues with this, and certainly I feel this being part of the online business world, is that I hear it time and time again from programs I've been in, from coaches, from gurus. You hear that there is no alternative to having social media for your business, that you have to spend time there. If you haven't got a social media presence, then there's no other way to grow your business. And I'm in a few communities and follow a few people who do have that alternative stance on this, that you don't have to be on socials and that there are alternatives. And it's something I've thought about in my business for a long time. It's something that has been kind of calling to me to do more around this and actually sort of really focus on this in my business. And I think often with what we see on social media, we see these coaches and gurus saying that we need to be using it, but there is an agenda behind that as well quite often. So that's what they're teaching. That's what they're getting you to then spend your money with them, from actually them showing you that they have the cure to you actually feeling like this about social media, and that it's not the fact that the social media itself is the problem. It's what you don't know that they're going to teach you that's the problem, and that will help you then to have the same sort of success that we're seeing them having in social media. We're sort of sold that we need a curated plan, we need a social calendar, we need to have it organized, and I definitely believe that if you are using social media, that it's important to have those things. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best way to market your business. And for the amount of energy that small business owners are putting into it, and especially if you haven't got a plan, if you haven't got a team around you, and that's one of the things to remember about a lot of the gurus and the people who are selling these programs and things, is they've got a whole team helping them with this kind of stuff. They've got mentors and they're in masterminds and things like that also helps them with all of this kind of stuff. Whereas when you're actually trying to do this and it's you wearing all the hats, it's you doing all of the things in your business, then it's very easy to feel like we're failing, but we're comparing our business to something that isn't anywhere near what we do, because they've got a lot more budget, they've got people helping them, and it's kind of a completely different scenario really. We see the highlight reels as well. So when we're looking at the business owners who are showing us the success that they've had on social media, we're seeing the highlight reel. I think this is a big thing with social media anyway, is the fact that everything's the highlight reel really. We don't see the struggles and the prep and all of the things that make those 2-minute posts supposedly that look easy and flowing and look really natural. We don't see what people have done behind that. We don't see the prep. So we feel like we're comparing us feeling awkward and feeling like I have no idea what to do, no idea what to post, comparing that to somebody else's highlight reel. And I think, as I say, that there's this feeling of double failure. You're failing because you can't do it quickly, and you're failing because you've done it, you've tried it, you've spent hours trying to do it, and it still hasn't worked. It still hasn't got you the results you wanted to, really. It just makes me think about, are we being sort of set up to believe that this is the only future, that social media and using it in our business is the only way to grow, and that if we don't join in this game right now, that we'll disappear either now or in the future. And, that if we don't spend a lot of time on this, then we're not going to survive. Our business isn't going to survive it, really. And the big thing with this, I think, the big thing with actually this whole lie is it's not just about the time that you waste. It's also about what happens when the platforms shift as well. Because we pour our energy, we pour everything into these posts, and things are changing already with AI search and things like that. But when the algorithms change, you might feel like you've sort of cracked the code to actually posting and it working in your business. But then the algorithm changes and it's all gone, and you've got to then adjust what you're doing and adjust everything then as well, really. So are we moving into a world where people are only searching on social media? Maybe, potentially. I don't know. I don't feel like we are. I feel like people are moving into searching in AI. And I don't feel like social media posts are critical, certainly not right now, for showing up in AI searches. Yes, we might see some social media posts showing up in AI searches, but right now, realistically, the stuff that's showing up, especially for local businesses, so people who have got Google business profiles, people who've got a local presence, it's those kind of things that are showing up, and blogs and forums and things like that. That's consistently what is showing up in AI searches. Social media might show up, but it's not your own content. That's going to be a lot stronger, really. And if your content only lives on Instagram or something like that, then when that algorithm shifts, you become invisible, or worse still, you could even lose all that, really. So if that's the lie, if that's what we've been told, if we've been told that social media is the only way, let's talk about what is actually the truth. So yes, you do need to be visible, but you don't have to do it through that algorithm and through that treadmill of being on socials all the time. You've got other options, and most of the time those options are stronger, they are better, they are more sustainable, they don't burn you out as much, and you're actually building an asset for your business. So visibility is absolutely essential, but you don't have to chase algorithms to get that, really. So I talked about this last week. This episode is all part of a social media is optional series. Last week in episode 103, I talked about making your website the hub of your content rather than just churning out content over and over for social media. Talked about your website actually being the hub of your content. So put your best content, instead of just feeding the algorithms, put your best content on your website. Use that as the starting point that brings everything else together. So everything else you're doing online, you bring that together on your website. That's what shows up on Google in general, and now in AI searches as well. That sort of, it's your shop window, and it's the thing that can be working for your business, even if you're not actually working in your business. If your website is strong and you've worked on your SEO and you are visible in search, it can connect with customers when they're searching for what you sell. And I think that's what we all want, really, is to connect with people when they're a little bit further along their buyer's journey and they actually are wanting to buy what you're selling, realistically. So if the AI searches are pulling in answers, you probably want them pulling in your strongest content, and ideally your content from your website, really. The second thing you can focus on besides social media is your Google business profile. So you don't own your Google business profile, which is something that's definitely worth mentioning with this. But for local businesses, Google profiles are so powerful. I think clients will often find your Google profiles, especially if they are searching for somebody locally to help them. Clients will often find those before they've ever clicked through to your social media and even your website, really. Sometimes they might not even click through to your website, but your Google profile can tell them the reviews of other people have talked about you. They can tell them exactly how to get to you, how to book, get directions, so they can come in without actually then even needing to go to and check out your social media or check out your website. But it's something that I am really seeing showing up in AI searches is those map listings. If they're up to date and they're optimized, that can be really helpful with you actually getting your business showing up in local search. And I think if somebody is searching for you locally, do you want them to find your Instagram post or your Google profile, which has got the reviews, got directions, talks exactly about how you actually help, and you've just got that a little bit more control on what they're actually doing? They're not off then scrolling Instagram and looking at cat videos. They're there, they're trying to make a decision about somebody local to buy from, and your profile is there front and center and actually leading them directly into your business. The next one is your email list. So this is an asset that you control. It's so powerful, something that I procrastinated on and put off starting in my business for a long time as my email list. But if people are following you on social media, you might think that you've got a following of however many thousands or tens of thousands or millions on social media, but that can disappear overnight and you don't own it. You don't actually have a way to directly connect with those people if that disappears. So your email list is that direct line. You can literally send out an email and you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to get hopefully into somebody's inbox, but you have that direct connection with them. So if your favorite platform went away tomorrow, if the platform where you've got your biggest audience went away tomorrow, would you still have a way to reach those people there? Would you know even who had even put their hand up and shown any sign of interest in your business by following you? I think that's why email lists is something that's focusing on growing that more is definitely a better option, really. I think one more thing that gets sort of overlooked and downplayed in this big lie about social media being the be all and end all is partnerships and referrals. And these are the things that I would say to focus on first and foremost, really. So before your website, even before your SEO, before your Google profile or anything, build those relationships with people, especially if you are a local business and you can build local relationships, then that makes a massive difference. So for many clients, and I speak to clients over and over about this, and they will say that their main source of clients is from referrals, from word of mouth, from local networking, collaborations that they've done locally, those kind of things. And it might feel like it's not glamorous, it's not sexy, but it is sustainable and it's powerful. People are often scared of relying on word of mouth in case that dries up, but actually it's a lot less likely to dry up because it's in your control. So if you're still building and maintaining those relationships, if you're still doing the things, just being helpful, getting out there and growing your network and growing your relationships, that's something that no algorithm can take away. There's nothing that can change in the algorithm that's going to then get rid of those relationships and those friendships that you've built with people and the client relationships as well of them referring you. So I think that's the one thing I would say to focus on first and foremost in all of this, really, is the relationships and the collaborations. And this isn't just my opinion. I keep hearing it time and time again from beauty business owners, from therapists, from wellness practitioners, from online service providers. And they will often say that their main source of clients comes from referrals or from Google or their website. And with social media, most people I speak to about this say, I don't really enjoy using social media. And they say that they don't feel they get a lot from it. They feel like maybe it might help with awareness a bit, but it isn't usually the core driver of revenue in their business, really. I was doing some research last night on some Reddit and Quora threads about this. And there are literally threads upon threads upon threads of business owners who are done with the social media lie and looking for alternative ways to grow their business. One that feels good. A lot of these businesses exist to help people, and that social media infrastructure and the social media lie and the hamster wheel just doesn't align with that for them. So they are looking for an alternative, really. So the next time you feel that pressure to just post for the sake of it, remember this: social media is optional. Visibility isn't optional, but you get to choose. You get to choose how you show up, and you can build a website that is working for you constantly, whether you're working in your business or whether you're off working with clients or you're sitting on the beach. And you can make sure that your Google business profile gets you found locally as well. You can grow an email list that you own, and you can really lean in to those relationships you've built. Build more partnerships and referrals that can bring clients your way. And actually, they're already along that journey to trusting you because they've been referred. So that is actually the truth of it. It's not the lie that we've been sold, that you don't have to keep feeding the algorithm to be successful. You can put your energy into building something that lasts. And if you do want some help doing this, come and grab my QuickStart SEO guide or check out the Website Growth Club. Both of these are designed to get you off of that hamster wheel and onto a path that actually feels good for your business.